Hi, I'm Marina. Welcome to Sakramel School. Gel strengthening is one of the most popular nail services. Every other post or video features gel. Have you noticed? But it doesn't always turn out as long-lasting and beautiful as expected. A coating may peel off or even crack. Today we will take a look at 15 gel-related mistakes, and I will teach you how to avoid them. Let's get into it. Number 1 concerns gel texture. If it's still liquid, beginners may fail to align it properly as it keeps flowing onto the sides and into the sinuses. It takes quite a while to fix such issues. Liquid gel textures will be perfect for professional nail technicians who want to speed up. Thicker gels don't flow, but create extra volume, which is something we have to deal with trying to align the nail. Here's a life hack for melting a thick gel. Just put it into hot water or leave it on a warm surface, a hot air sterilizer or a heater. Or cool it down if it's still liquid. It will make it thicker and easier to use. The next mistake is using soft and plastic gels for strengthening. They will do for strengthening short nails. As for extremely long nails, they may bend and chip on the free edge. Here's a quick way to find out how plastic your gel is. Just spread some gel over a glossy piece of paper. Make sure it's enough for strengthening, and send it to cure in a lamp. Remove the tacky residue and check if the gel bends well, whether it cracks or not. If it does, then it's definitely hard gel. If it bends like this, then it's rather plastic. So it's likely to follow all the natural nail curves. When it comes to strengthening long nails or sculpting them to get a defined shape, I recommend you use harder gels or polygels. If your gel cracks during the test, it does not mean that it's bad. It only means that it's hard. Always make sure to read about a gel plasticity or conduct a quick experiment to find it out. The third issue is removing gel polish. When one removes all the color, but there is still a lot of material left. If we put more gel on top of it, the nails will get really thick. So make sure to remove that intermediate layer as well, leaving some base coat left. Don't forget to remove all the parts that have lifted to avoid further peeling. The next one is filing nails before strengthening. Don't waste your time at this point, when you can file them afterwards. Doing it now will only make the nails thicker and ruin the shape. Keep them long and touch up the shape after strengthening. That will make the nails really defined. Not to mention that with that final touch, we can lift the tips of those nails that are curved, just by making them thinner on the inside. This way we will strengthen them, so such nails won't bend or chip. Moving on to the fifth mistake, which concerns a nail prep. We need to lift the scales of the nail plate to make it matte, with no glossy areas left. Use a 180/240 grit nail file and file in one direction to lift the nail scales properly. This will also help to remove all the leftover base coat or lifting, to provide a perfect transition between the nail and the layer of gel. I know that some nail technicians fail to file the sinuses and the areas near the lateral folds, since those are hard to reach. Don't worry, just grab the finger like this, pull the nail fold, and file those areas. Remember that a manicure should be clean, with no pterygium. Next up, we have lots of primer. I always make sure to wring the brush out. Sometimes I even blot it with a tissue. I make 3 brush strokes without overlaying it and wait for it to dry a bit. For strengthening, we can use either gel or gel polish base coats. It doesn't mean whether it's plastic or not. Make sure that it goes with the client's nail plate type. I apply a thin layer close enough to the cuticle line, leaving a gap may result in lifting. The next one is the amount of material. Too much or too little to go with. We can't enhance the nail architecture with a thin layer of gel. It's going to be too thin and fragile on the sides. So the nail can easily crack in the growth channel the moment it hits something. In order to sculpt strong nails, nail technicians decide to use tons of gel, which only makes the nails look bulky. Besides, such a thick layer can't cure well. That's another issue, since unpolymerized gel may damage the nail plate. Number 8 is making whipping moves with a brush, which can only result in forming bubbles. Make sure to lean on with your active hand. This will prevent the brush from getting too deep. Try to align the gel, barely touching the nail surface. Number 9 is applying the gel outside the base coat layer. Unlike a base coat, it does not bond with a nail plate, so it may peel off when applied on bare nails. Tightline the cuticle zone with the base coat and leave a tiny gap applying the gel to make the nail growth less evident. Number 10 is aligning the gel as if it was a base coat. It's not about the technique, but the nail architecture. Sure, the techniques are pretty similar. We can turn the hand over, but we can't keep the architecture like this. That will give us a rounded longitudinal curve. It will make the nails appear curved or thicker than they actually are, while the side walls won't be strengthened at all, causing the nails to crack on the sides. When we turn the nail over, the gel may form a bump on either side. A lot depends on the hand position while curing, so make sure to check the coating once it's cured. That's when most of the nail technicians fail to touch it up with a file. Then they try to cover it up and conceal those bumps with the gel polish, but there's no way to get an even coating at this point. In order to get that perfect nail architecture, I recommend you file the nails after strengthening to define them. With an optimal amount of gel, it's not going to take too much time to file it. Besides, there is no need to file the cuticle zone when it's sculpted properly. So filing the nail surface won't slow you down, but instead, it will help you to sculpt beautiful nails. Number 11 concerns the nail architecture. It refers to flat or convex nails, those with a misplaced apex, or curved ones. To lift a curved tip, we need to really build up the free edge. Cure it in a lamp, and then sculpt the nail and work on the architecture. All this excess gel will help us to lift the curved tip. We can actually fix every nail plate type just by sculpting it with the gel, using only one product and making no fuss about it. Once we have built this tip up, all we need to do is to file it. Just place the file under the nail to lift the tip at this point. Number 12 is a layered cuticle zone. There should not be a lot of gel. Otherwise, there is going to be an evident transition to the nail as it grows. It's a pretty common issue for those who push the gel closer to the nail fold. They put some on the nail and start pushing it towards the cuticle line, which results in overlaying the gel. Instead, try to align it smoothly. There should be a perfect transition between the nail and the gel coating, which is going to make the nail growth barely noticeable. When it comes to gel or polygel, avoid thin layers. Otherwise, they are likely to peel off the day after nail strengthening. Number 13 is overfiling the cuticle zone. Just like the previous mistake, it's going to result in lifting. Again, once you have sculpted the cuticle zone properly beforehand, there is no need to file it at this point. That will save you from overfiling this area. Number 14 is pulling. I keep saying that pulling equals lifting. By all means, try to avoid pulling applying a base coat, since the gel will follow it. If the base coat has pulled, don't send it to cure. Clean it up first. If it has pulled while curing, remove it with a file or a drill bit. Number 15 is sculpting thick tips. Since the gel is rather hard, just a thin layer will be enough to make it last perfectly. File all the excess gel out to relieve the pressure on the free edge and to prevent the nail from breaking or cracking in the gross channel. But don't make it too thin to prevent it from breaking. It's all about the right balance. Nail thickness equals that of a plastic card. Here's one more thing. I highly recommend you cover it up with a top coat to prevent the natural nail from peeling. Did you find any of your mistakes here? If you did, please subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and stay tuned for more life hacks. Wishing you all healthy nails. Good luck! Bye bye!